College football's upon us, NFL, so let's talk the SEC. Hey guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that bell for notifications. That way you never miss one of our brand new shows, the Picks and Parlays Power Hour. We're talking football Monday through Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern. Don't forget to jam that bell for notifications. As you can see here, I don't need to name all the teams because they're all clearly labeled right here in this graphic for you. Compliments of Detroit, Lenny. Tell me what are your thoughts? What are your initial feelings on the SEC this season?
Yeah, before I get to that, real quickly, Von Miller did play for the Broncos when they won the Super Bowl and beat Carolina.
Okay.
It was last year that Peyton Manning played. So you were correct there.
That's okay. I thought that also that he was on the Peyton Manning team, but without like Googling real quick, I couldn't sell it. I just couldn't sell it.
That was the year that Peyton Manning got benched and then came back in the later part of the season and went on a roll for them to win the Super Bowl. But Von Miller was actually the MVP of that Super Bowl too. So,
well, there you go. Yeah. I love that guy. I love Von Miller. Let me just say that. I love Von Miller.
Bad news for the Bills today is Jordan Poyer was hurt in practice today and possible serious arm injury. He's an all-pro. So I'll keep my fingers crossed there. And nobody wants to see a star player get hurt in training camp, no matter what.
Especially when they're on your team, huh, Mr. Bills man?
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Anyway, and I like Sean's breakdown. It was fantastic. So was Nick's. So nothing surprising here, right?
We keep some sharp handicappers over at Picks and Parlays. It's kind of how we stay in business,
All right. So let's see if I could live up to those gentlemen's performances. The SEC, look, here's the thing. See all those teams that are listed below Ellie right there? There's only 3 of them that are really worth talking about when it comes to the possibility of winning the SEC. And those 3 teams, in my estimation, are the 2 obvious ones in Alabama and Georgia. And then Texas A&M at real inviting odds of plus 850. And now look at Alabama. Bryce Young is back, Heisman Trophy candidate, probably the favorite going into the season, if not one of the top 3 favorites. Alabama ranked number 1 in the preseason polls. Anything shocking there, Ellie? I don't think so. It seems like ever since Saban has come aboard, they're a preseason number 1 every year. Having said all that, you look at Alabama's road slate, it's not as easy as some of the other 2 teams in the SEC that I want to mention, and being Georgia and A&M. 4 top 25 teams on the road slate now: Tennessee, Arkansas, Ole Miss in a non-conference game at Texas. And then they also travel to Baton Rouge, Louisiana to take on LSU late in the year. Now, this figures to be a down year for LSU and Brian Kelly's first season there. A lot of changeover in personnel, but you never know. If you're going to play LSU, you want to play them early, not late in the year where they might have a time to gel. Having said all that, I'm thinking that they're going to get upset in one of these road games. It just stands to reason to me that this is top to bottom, unequivocally in my mind, a top conference again in college football. And their home slate is a cakewalk, meaning Alabama, with the exception of Texas A&M, who they'll host on October the 8th. And that'll be a huge game, Ellie, because this is an A&M team that's totally capable. I mean, they handed Alabama their only regular season loss a season ago, 41-38 at College Station. Of course, this year's matchup will be in Tuscaloosa, and you can make the case that Alabama is going to be playing with big-time revenge. Yes, but you could also go to the other side of the coin and say A&M, who finished 8-4 last season and should be much better this year, it has the confidence in knowing they could play and beat Alabama. And speaking of A&M, Jimbo Fisher is assembling quite a program since he arrived at Texas A&M. They were a little downtrodden when he got there. They were 8-4 last year. They're 34-14 since Jimbo Fisher arrived on campus. And they're also the owners of the top recruiting class in 2021. So look for a lot of impact players coming in as freshmen. This is an A&M defense. They did lose 6 players to graduation. However, they allowed 14 points or fewer in 6 of their 12 games last season. That'll keep you in a lot of games, especially if your offense is having an off day. Their schedule is very doable. And when I say doable, they're going to be favorites in 11 of 12 games this year, by my estimation. The
Ayo.
time they won't be is at the game at Alabama. I'm sorry?
No, I was at Alabama. Yeah.
Exactly. And then finally, Georgia, the defending champs, 14-1 a season to go, beat Alabama in the national championship game, avenging their only loss of the season, which came to Alabama in the SEC title game. But you know what, Ellie? 16 players went in the NFL draft from last year's Georgia team. That's a lot of talent to replace.
Yeah.
However, they've recruited real well, and the cupboard won't be dry. And if you look, I should say, won't be bare. And if you look at their schedule, the opener against Oregon will be played in Atlanta. They should still have an advantage there. Right now, a 16.5-point favorite. Their only road team the only team they're going to face on the road, I should say, that's currently ranked in the top 25 preseason poll is at Kentucky. They should be favored in all 12 games. They don't face Alabama during the regular season. They don't face A&M during the regular season. So Georgia, I would almost say by default, will win that end of the division in the SEC. And I'm going to predict that A&M is going to qualify in the other division. And they're going to upset Alabama at Alabama. And I'm going out on a limb there. But you know what? I can't sit here and tell you Alabama and Georgia are going to be in the SEC title game again, even though it looks that obvious. So I like Alabama to win the SEC this year at odds of plus 850, because you'll never catch me tying my money up for 7 months on a team like Alabama at minus 140, or even a team like Georgia, who is currently right now plus 140. So I'm going to take a shot here, Ellie.
All right. Ooh, sorry. All right. Well, I like what you're doing with this. I mean, it's tough because teams like Alabama and Georgia, Georgia loses 16 players, but they're one of those unload, reload kind of teams. I'm from Texas. I dig Jimbo Fisher. I dig the Aggies. I'm all for them in this division. Also, I see Julie Carly there in the chat. Go Hogs. Love me some Arkansas Razorbacks as well.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing you forget about the SEC is there are other teams there besides Alabama and Georgia. And there's value on those teams if you play them properly. Great analysis as always, Ross Benjamin. Now, over at picksandparlays.net, crushing leaderboards, making that money. Tell the people what they're going to find when they buy your best bets, your premium plays.
Well, Major League Baseball, since the start of last season, my 10-star top plays 54-36. I had my 10-star game of the week this past Sunday. I had the Arizona and Atlanta game to go under 8.5, and that game finished 1-0, easy winner. NFL preseason starts on Thursday, Ellison, and like Sean said, anybody who tells you there's no money to be made in the NFL preseason and how could you handicap those games? Well, I've had 4 top 10 finishes since 2010. Last year started slow, 2-4, but finished 8-2 with my last 10 in the NFL preseason. So a 10-6 year, and a lot of good handicappers at our site, picksandparlays.net, that know what they're doing during the NFL preseason. Don't be afraid to invest money, and don't be afraid to make some bets and make some money.
Yes, indeed. And I would love if you could come on the Morning Wood Show, 1 p.m. Eastern, sometime next week, just like you did last season, and give us a rundown on how to bet the NFL preseason. Because I know the viewers were thrilled to hear your angles and the way that you roll during this semi-volatile time of the season, what can be a volatile time of the season, unless you know what you're doing. And you know how you get to know what you're doing? You ask a professional like Ross Benjamin. And so that's what we do. So if you could come on Morning Wood next week on Thursday, that would be fantastic.
It would be my pleasure, Ellie.
All right, beautiful. All right, everybody. Ross Benjamin, find him at picksandparlays.net. Use that promo code CFL. That's going to save you 20% off all of his best bets. You want to get on board with this guy. Get a week-long, a month-long, a year-long subscription. Get the NFL pass for the entire season from Ross. That's value, people. That's what we're looking for when we're betting on sports. Thanks so much, Ross Benjamin. I'll see you next week.
Thank you for having me, Ellie. Always a pleasure.
Cheers.